Welcome to my banking application. For my capstone, I decided to refactor my original banking application to include a Mongo database and a Firebase authorization. So let's proceed. As far as the application overview diagram, this is the general rundown of how the application is handling information. So the user creates an account, it is then sent to Firebase, authorized, authenticated, and then the user is stored on the Firebase database, as well as the email is then used to initialize a Mongo database user. Confirmation message is then sent, successful login, and then the user is automatically rerouted to the dashboard, which is just a / component, which gives access to private routes. Fortunately, the Firebase user is stored locally on a token, so that email is then used to make queries regarding the checking and savings balances. That information is then processed and returned to the front end, where the a used state hook essentially is keeping the retrieved data up to date on the front end. So and that this structurally is how the middleware then communicates with the database. It retrieves gives a put request to update, so like a deposit, for example, to the database is queried, and then it's uses the email to cross-reference in the database. The put request is executed, and then a get request retrieves the balance from the database, and then the middleware sends it to the client to then store in the hook, the use state hook. As far as front-end architecture, this was a screenshot, or this is a screenshot of my application. So all the components are structured there. The Firebase.js holds all the API information in order to access Firebase. I could have put it in an env.local file as well, but it worked out this way as well. But obviously for security reasons, you would probably want to put it in a .env.local file in order, just in case you're trying to distinguish between the deployment and just the demo application, or for like your Firebase. And then moving forward, here's a screenshot of the authentication method that I used. So I went through a lot of Stack Overflow and a couple of YouTube videos, and found that this was probably the easiest way to go about doing it. As far as the sign-in method goes, I use the email and password authentication method, and as you can see, it stores locally on the Firebase cloud. It stores the email, which is then used to ensure that no user is signed up again with a similar email, or is able to sign in with a non-existing email as well. So structurally, this was much easier than I thought it was going to be, but I'm actually quite happy with how it turned out, as you will see with the application to come.